The last wife remaining in the ruins of sister wives, Robyn, is the subject of Kody Brown's years-long defense of his loyalty. However, in an unexpected turn of events, a recent episode demonstrated exactly what viewers had not anticipated: Kody's reconnection with his estranged children, and he did so without Robyn's involvement. It was productive, emotional, and peculiarly tranquil. And that is precisely the issue. For the first time in years, viewers witnessed Kody engage in a genuine, heartfelt conversation with his daughter Aspen, without any deflection, hubris, or most importantly, Robyn's mediation of his every word. The outcome was a Kody that had not been seen by fans in a long time. Susceptible, sincere, present. At that moment, the most pressing question was not whether he could repair his fractured family. Rather, it was whether Robyn had been the source of its disintegration. Kody divulged more information than he likely intended during a Valentine's Day reflection. He acknowledged traveling 8 hours to Utah to visit his daughter Aspen, and he also encountered several of his other children unexpectedly. However, it was not solely the reunion that was noteworthy. He described a vulnerable conversation with Aspen in such detail. She directly inquired of him, "Why are you not fond of me?" at one juncture. Kody, for the first time, did not avoid the subject. He confessed to his absence, recognized the suffering he had inflicted, and conveyed his affection for his daughter. It appeared as though viewers were witnessing Kody for the first time without any filters. He experienced a sense of rawness, profundity, and readiness for introspection, which had been absent from the father of 18 for years. However, Robyn's response when he described the conversation with Aspen is instructive. Robyn continued to portray it as a confrontation, despite the fact that she was unable to witness it firsthand, rather than offering her support. Reddit was in a state of chaos as viewers criticized her for her tendency to distort Kody's interactions in a negative manner whenever his children from his other spouses are present. Robyn either positions herself or, as is the case in this instance, attempts to delegitimize the original family's attempts to reconnect. This is a pattern that observers have observed on numerous occasions. It is uncertain whether she is acting intentionally or in response to a sense of threat. By the time Robyn joined the family in 2010, Kody had been married to his first 3 spouses for nearly 2 decades. He ultimately divorced his legal wife, Meri, in order to marry Robyn. Robyn's arrival altered the entire family dynamic, and the television audience's enjoyment of witnessing this transformation is a significant factor in Sister Wives' popularity. Robyn significantly impacted the emotional tone, language, and access of Kody's other relationships. It is important to remember that she made a significant point about the unsafe nature of family gatherings during the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition, she maintained stringent quarantine regulations for all others, regardless of the fact that her caregiver and the nanny's husband were permitted to enter and exit their residence at will. Kody may appreciate the fact that Robyn consistently flatters his ego in a manner that his other spouses did not. Just consider how he boasts about her modeling background. However, she also manipulates the narrative to portray his elder children as unfaithful or hostile to the family, which exacerbates the tension. Regrettably, the damage had already been done by the time the majority of the Brown children had reached youth. It appears that she has succeeded in excluding him from the most significant individuals in his life, whether intentionally or unintentionally. The true tragedy is that Robyn's expression of concern for Kody's children appears to be performed. It is difficult to accept that Robyn genuinely advocates for reconciliation when her initial reaction is to exert control over the situation. Additionally, the most recent episode of Sister Wives indicates that this trend is persisting, provided that Kody permits it. Although Kody's visit to Utah did not resolve all issues, it did demonstrate a significant fact: Kody is less defensive and more emotionally available when Robyn is absent. His conversation with Aspen was one of the most authentic instances we have witnessed from him in a long time. However, Robyn's response indicated that she perceived it as a threat. At this juncture, the question is not whether Kody can repair his fractured family. The true issue that must be resolved is the obstruction that has existed throughout the entire process. All indications indicate that Robyn is the issue. Sister wives Kody Brown and Robyn Brown resided in a lavish million-dollar residence that boasted an ostentatious restroom that was indicative of their extravagant lifestyle. In 2010, Kody, who was already married to Meri, Janelle, and Christine Brown, welcomed Robyn into his family. He immediately began a family with her, fulfilling his aspiration for a large family. Kody divorced his legal wife Meri in 2014 in order to marry Robyn, adopt her children, and further expand their family. The couple subsequently welcomed 2 biological children, Ariella in 2016 and Solomon in 2011. Initially, Kody and Robyn were a polygamous couple. However, their bond matured over time, resulting in their transition to a monogamous relationship. The other sister wives, Janelle, Meri, and Christine, also felt neglected as Kody spent the majority of his time with Robyn, as a result of the close connection between the couple. Meri, Janelle, and Christine resolved to terminate their romantic relationships with Kody in order to pursue their aspirations in various cities between 2021 and 2023. This led to the transition of Kody's polygamous relationship with Robyn into a monogamous marriage. Kody and Robyn have been accused by numerous Brown family members of being excessive in their spending habits. One of their daughters, Gwendolyn Brown, has even referred to them as shopaholics. A Sister Wives devotee, Mindful Goat Nugget, recently unearthed evidence that substantiates these allegations by sharing images of Kody and Robyn's former residence. A particular photograph illustrated their ostentatious restroom, which was furnished with a Flintstone-style sink and additional opulent decor. The couple's apparent willingness to invest a substantial amount of money into the creation of their custom restroom was suggested by the presence of additional jewels near the sink. Kody and Robyn's foyer was depicted in an additional photograph, which featured walls that were adorned with seashell-inspired artwork. The primary bedroom was also depicted in the images, which featured a large king-sized bed, a large pink carpet, a corresponding pink painting, and several costly paintings. The bed's custom design and dimensions rendered it even more luxurious. Statues, ornate plants, a plush sofa, and other decor were present in the bedroom. Nevertheless, there were a few unusual items in the room, including a vintage bow and arrow that was affixed to the wall, a painting of embracing horses, and a peculiar sculpture. Numerous crystals were observed in the washroom of Kody and Robyn's former residence by numerous Redditors. They were perplexed that the couple may have allocated a substantial sum of money to bathroom decorations that did not correspond with the overall aesthetic of their residence. Kody and Robyn's faith in the properties of crystals was a topic of debate among certain admirers. Other individuals conjectured that the decorative crystals were expensive, estimating that they were likely to cost over $200. One Redditor commented, "That ain't cheap at all," implying that the amethyst crystals were likely to be costly. Although the decor captivated admirers, they also observed that the home appeared overly extravagant. Some individuals even assert that money can be spent on products, but it cannot be used to acquire excellent taste in style. Throughout the years, numerous members of Kody's family have accused him and Robyn of frivolously spending money on unrelated items. These allegations have been further exacerbated by the sister wives couple's extravagant expenditures, such as jewelry and Robyn's fixation on American dolls.